So yeah, no, this is RWBY Grimm Eclipse. I'm gonna go single player because I checked this beforehand and no one's playing the multiplayer. Oh. Well, it's not what I was expecting. Last time I tried this, it wouldn't actually let me get into a game. As you can see, I'm very, very low leveled, but that's because I played it when it first came out before they had all the leveling and everything. Oh my god, I am dying already. This is not going very well. So this game is a 4-player co-op campaign-based hack and slasher, character action game, that kind of thing. It was first announced and created by a single guy, a single person who was like, I like RWBY, I'm gonna make this game. And he created like a free demo where you replay through the first trailer. And it was really good. And then Rooster Teeth announced, Jesus Christ. I'm probably going to have to quit this game and start from the beginning again, because I am massively underleveled compared to everyone else here. So yeah, no, it was announced by a single guy, and then Rooster Teeth swooped in and were like, we're going to hire the guy that made this game, and we're going to give it a dev team, and we're going to put it on Steam, and it's going to cost real money. They added Juniper after the game had already come out, and they cost money. As you can see, if you try to select them, it would just take you to the Steam store page. Same with the costumes. This game's had a weird history, so yeah, I know it got bought out, and then they released the game in early access, where it had these first couple levels here, and they stripped out like all of the features that were from the original demo. And the graphics got worse as time went on. Originally, the fan-made demo was like spot on. Like, it looked exactly like the show. And now it doesn't look too shoddy, but there was a phase when it was in early access. So, as you can see here, this is a levelly up kind of game. Because every modern game is like this. You play through it and you get XP, and you use that XP to level up. Originally, I was fine with this because it was like, the XP would reset between games, so if you left here, then it would reset all your points and XP and stuff, which meant that you were getting more powerful as the game went on, and it also meant that like they intentionally gave you too much stuff to get in one game, so you'd have to like make decisions and like go all in on one thing. Like you couldn't, like if you got all your ultimates, you would pretty much be able to get nothing else. So were you gonna get all your ultimates, or were you just gonna get one of the ultimates and some of the stuff over here in general? And I like that. That was like some... it added a layer of strategy to the game, and it was one of those things where the more you played it, you get better and the more decisions you'd be able to make. But recently they've added it so that no, you always have it, which means that at some point you're just gonna completely level up your character. Which is why I was having so much trouble earlier, because I think I was in a game with people that had like fully leveled up characters. There's your aura regeneration, that's your shield from Halo. And then there's your aura, and then that's you survive more after your shield has been depleted. So this really is Halo, which doesn't work because this isn't a first-person shooter. I feel like it would work much better if your health recharged after defeating an enemy, rather than just recharging from not taking damage, because what this means is it encourages you to run away from battles, which I don't like, it's not fun. I think it's one of those games that encourages you to like kind of grind and go through, because like this story mode is not very long at all. You can complete the game in about like 2 hours at most, so it's not very long. And I think the way they get around it is because of course it's a multiplayer game, but also you can replay as different characters and level up the different characters. And joke's on you, Rooster Teeth, because everyone knows the only RWBY character I actually care about is Weiss. This isn't a very intuitive game. It doesn't teach you anything, which a lot of the time I'm in favor of that. Some of my favorite games, like Majora's Mask and so on, they just kind of shove you in and let you figure stuff out. This isn't that kind of game though. This is a pick up and play multiplayer game. And that guy glitched up the mountain and I couldn't hit him, so that was great. The single player is really, really short, and I know they need it to be because it's like, oh, it's a co-op game. It's supposed to be a kind of thing you can just kind of jump in and out of with your friends, which doesn't make sense because as we saw earlier, I jumped in a game and I was massively underleveled to actually do any damage to those guys, so I had to leave. So it's not a jump in, jump out kind of game, but oh well, it's got a short single player anyway. But yeah, no, I feel like the way they could have tackled this is just add another campaign to it, or add like a couple of campaigns. Make the campaign, like intentionally make the campaigns really short, but like add lots of campaigns with lots of variety. And one thing I will give them is there's a decent enough environment variety. The place from the actual show, the Red Forest that the school trip was at, like they have that in, that's cool. And I'm certain this environment is from the show as well, I think. I don't know, this is like such a forgettable green environment. It's like, I don't know if this is from the show or not. But if you see my aura as I'm running away, it charges back up again, which is dumb and I hate that. It should charge back up again once you defeat an enemy. That would be much better. I like games that encourage risk and reward, not run away and reward. One cool thing I like here is the instrumental version of the second opening is playing. This is a filler arc. The story, and that's what we're going to get up to here. The story is a filler arc. It's bad. And I mean, I guess that's fine because it's like, oh, you know, they can't expect you to play the game to understand the plot of the show, but there's nothing of meaning or importance or really anything here. You're just the character, and the stories that you get sent on a mission by the teachers where you gotta go and defeat Grimm. But oh no, it looks like the Grimm's being controlled by an evil dude, and you beat the evil dude. And that's the story. It's not exactly anything too interesting or complex about it at all. It's just the most by-the-numbers game story. When I was first told that a RWBY game was going to come out, the very first thing that I thought of was, oh, I'm going to be able to run around Beacon and talk to my friends, and this isn't that. This, like, I was like, oh, maybe a role-playing game or whatever. And I'm still really annoyed that you can't, at the very least, walk around Beacon. Even if it was like an abandoned, like, no one's actually there Beacon. It's just like such a big opportunity you missed. Like that'd be like if you had a Harry Potter game where you just couldn't go to Hogwarts. And this mission is dumb and I don't like it, and a lot of the missions in the game are similar to this. As you can see, there's a thing in the middle here and you just gotta beat people so that this thing doesn't take damage. You may think, oh, that thing's got quite a bit of damage. Don't worry, I've never actually seen a thing get destroyed before. No matter how reckless you are. Every once in a while a character will have on top of their head some lines and a bee. That's like your parry move, I guess. But it never works. And when it does, it's still very iffy. Oh, gotta run away for a bit to recharge my health. This is fun gameplay. Another thing that I don't really like about this game is that they didn't record enough voice lines. Look at this. This button, this heavy attack button, she does the exact same noise every time you use it. It's really annoying. Like, surely it couldn't have costed that much money to get the actress to just do a couple more lines for that, right? Like, just a slightly different take of the grunting noise that you could alternate between? Like, anything. Especially considering it's a badly delivered line too. Yeah, no, these guys, I don't like these enemies. And that sucks because they're like the generic Grimm. They're like the ones you'll see a lot throughout the game. And they just block all your attacks, which is so annoying. Another thing is to use your ultimate, you gotta press both the bumper buttons, which doesn't, like that rubs me the wrong way. I don't like having to press two buttons at once, considering there's a lot of buttons on this controller that don't have anything maxed to them. Does this game have rebindable keys? None that I've seen. Like that industry standard that's been a thing for quite a few years, at least for PC gaming anyway, is just nowhere to be seen here. No rebindable keys. Hey, and we won the level, and there's a taunt button. Taunt button's cool. You kind of seen the full scope of the game now, basically. All you really get is some slightly different enemy types. Slightly different. They're spread out a bit too thin for my tastes. And some slightly different bland levels. I mean, I like the way that it transitions, like, because the previous level was a grassy place, and then this place is like grassy and it's got some stone elements and stuff too. And the next one's either the underground one or it's the one that was actually in the show. One thing to mention is in the early access, bullets didn't do anything. Like bullets would just be used for like juggling it, although to be fair this game doesn't have any juggling at all. which is really bad for a game like this. Oh no, I'm about to die, but that doesn't matter because there's only one guy. I just need to dodge this and just... The camera isn't great. If there's a way of locking onto enemies, I haven't seen it. There's no tutorial, there's no like button list, there's no key rebindings, none of that. Oh, do I really have to... I'm playing this with a controller. You have to physically drag it with your mouse. That's really bad. Considering that Steam claims that this game has full controller support, which it bloody doesn't. Here's your settings. That's all your settings. Subtitles, voice volume, SFX, music. I mean, for the most part, I've kind of like, throughout the first level, kind of pointed out my criticisms with the game. They've improved a decent amount since the game was fully released. A lot of the time I will be against cutscenes. I like telling the story through the gameplay, but again, for a tie-in game, it would be cool to see cutscenes done in the style of the actual show. That would be interesting, but no, none of that. Especially considering this was developed in-house. That's something you need to realize. This was developed in-house by the same animation studio that made the show itself. As you can see though, this level is almost exactly the same as the previous one in terms of gameplay. I activated a drawbridge, but the drawbridge is going to take forever to come down, so I have to defend it or whatever by killing some random Grimms that spawn. And no real enemy variety yet. We're on a second level and they've only added one new kind of Grimm, which is those Sonic the Hedgehog ones, which really isn't ideal. I feel like the best way of summing up the gameplay to this game, like the structure of the levels, would be kind of like a Payday game, like the drill from Payday, but without all of the strategy taken out. Because like with Payday, you gotta like scope out the area and know what you're doing first. There's lots of different routes and stuff that you can take, and like you got the stealth options and all that other stuff, and you got like lots of variety. But this would be like a Payday where every level was the drill, but then that was it. Every level was the drill, and there was no real level design or variety or anything. Look at this guy with this most predictable pattern in the world. There we go. The point I'm trying to get across is that not only is this not a great game, and it's not worth the money they're charging, but it's not a good tie-in game either. Like, it's not even great at doing the fan service stuff. Like, yes, I mean, Weiss does look like Weiss and everything. And, like, she's got all that, and she can use a thing, but, like, there's no... Well, first of all, Weiss's thing is that her sword can use the different elements. Like, she can use ice, and she can use fire, but here, you can use the ice move by doing this. But you can't really, like, use the fire, for example. Like, it's not doing great at capturing that. And you know how RWBY uses a sniper? Well, in this game, it doesn't really act like a sniper. It just kind of acts like a normal gun. Like, none of the guns really have, like, anything to them to separate them. Like, you're sure as hell not going to get any sniping done in this game. That's the main kind of point that I'm trying to get across. Hopefully I can get a few. There we go. Yeah, no, there's no real depth, and that's fine. But I really feel like having more story stuff and more characters would have really... More non-DLC characters. Because, like, that's the thing. Everyone wanted Juniper. And I wanted Juniper just because they were promised to us. Not because, like, oh, I like Juniper. Because, spoiler, I don't like Juniper. But yeah, no, I feel like a more compelling story and more characters and better character interactions and like cutscenes and stuff would have really went a long way. And plus, like, the RWBY soundtrack is more than just the like opening and ending themes. The rest of the soundtrack in this game, from what I'm aware, has nothing to do with the show. Like, it's just kind of generic music they play. It's so forgettable, which is a shame because, again, even the people that dislike RWBY seem to think that at least the soundtrack is decent. So for this game to not really take advantage of that, other than just reusing the second opening theme over and over again, the instrumental version of it too, we don't even get the vocals. And when this game was in early access, there was a bunch of people playing it, and so you could just get into games real easy. Whereas now, that's not as easy. And if you do, they'll be right at the end of the game anyway. But I think, as you can see, the combat just isn't that fun. which is a shame for a combat-focused game. I mean, this is certainly no Bayonetta. Like, I know it wants me to do the dumb parry system or whatever, but like the parry system just doesn't work and it doesn't feel satisfying to use. Honestly, one of the best strategies is to just maintain your distance and spam the gun, like what I'm doing right now. And the thing is, they keep going on about how like, oh, this is probably, like, the way it's designed and everything, they make it feel like a game you're supposed to replay over and over again with your friends and like grind your character up and level up and have a variety with the team composition and everything. Yeah, no, this is one of the ones from the show, hey. But like, they have long stretches of just talking with nothing interesting. But yeah, this is the first of the environments from the show that we actually see, so hey, finally, it finally feels like we're in RWBY, hey. And now we've got Oobleck talking to us. Which makes sense, it fits thematically, because remember, in the show, they were with Oobleck when they were in this area, so to be fair, the first level might be the bit from Volume 1, where they're, like, forming the groups, but, like, it's such a generic forest that, like, it could be fucking anywhere for all I know. But this is the first one where, like, you look at it and you're like, yep, this is from the show, I remember this is the bit from Volume 2, where all the characters lied about what their motivations are. I mean, I wish this game had much more exciting set pieces, because there are no set pieces so far. Again, it's all just the drill from Payday 2. Because, like, in the show, in this area, they find, like, an underground train, and there's, like, a train fight where they're on the train and everything, which is very similar to the Blake trailer, but I forgive it because train fights are always really cool. Like, how come we don't get any train fights here? I want a train fight. I mean, at least that's something engaging. I mean, whereas this is just fighting in a town. I mean, it's still a step up, because it's like, hey, it's a thing from a show. The only people I can imagine buying this game are fans of the show. And, yeah, that's about it. I don't see this... Like, I feel sorry for anyone who's like, oh, I've heard of RWBY before, I'm gonna buy this game, play it, and then see if RWBY's worth getting into, because this is such a bad place to start. Like, this is the worst place you could ever... Oh yeah, this game also has lots of invisible walls. I love it when games have invisible walls. Especially considering this is a game that has a lot of, like, XP and stuff hitting around. So, like, it encourages you to kind of, like, wander off the beaten path and find the XP. The XP doesn't randomly spawn, though, which I think would make things better if the XP randomly spawned. But I'm almost certain the XP and artifacts and stuff spawn in the exact same place every time. I mean, I would like to show off more of a variety of the game, but yeah, as you can see, we're third level, and like, I mean, we're in a different looking place, but like the enemy variety is still very, very standard. I feel like my general point gets across here. The general point of most games of this style should have more variety than this. Oh, and again, the gameplay, still another wave-based, you're waiting for a thing to happen, so beat these Grimms until the thing happens. And like, you do have team attacks and stuff, but they're very basic, and I know I can't like show them off here. Try as I might, I can't convince anyone. I don't have it in me to convince anyone to actually, like, look at this, I'm just spamming the button, and I know, oh good. I couldn't move for a second there. Hey, we finally got a new enemy type. It's a bear, it's a bullet sponge, and look at this. Look at this enemy. Look at this enemy that we waited so long to get in the game. Glad we waited so long to get that enemy type. Look at this. This is insane. Especially considering it's usually 4 people versus this one guy. Come on. You gotta put a little bit of thought into this game. That's the most bizarre kind of invisible wall. Like, at least let me walk up there. Like, it's the general lack of oh, but don't worry, you can walk on here. Nope. Yep. Oh, you have to jump? But what if I jump here? No, if I jump here, it still doesn't work. See that? It's just like, it's just the general lack of polish. And that's the thing, I'm usually like, against long games. I prefer short games. Don't waste my time, just get to the good stuff right away. Short games only work if they're polished. And this isn't polished. And I can't wait for people to defend this game and go, oh, there's actually a bunch of stuff you didn't know about. And I guess that's fair too. And I'm not saying that, like, oh, if you like this game, then... Because, like, I get it. There's a... there is something compelling about being given the ability to play as a character you like. But yeah, no, because I was originally gonna do one of the video essays. But the video essays, they always like condense the information down. I try and get the point across as fast as possible and then analyze it. But because this game has no depth, there's nothing to really analyze here. Oh, this guy really is a bullet sponge, isn't he? Wow, this guy is the definition of a bullet sponge. I hate this guy. He's awful. Hey, there we go. That was an awful bullet sponge. And I'm pretty sure that's the end of the level now. I'm walking very slow. Okay. Yep, that's the end of the level. And that was RWBY Grimm Eclipse. It's not a great game. It's definitely not worth the money. I thought it was worth talking about because, again, I am a RWBY fan. I do love a lot of the aspects of RWBY, whilst also hating some. You know, to quote my other video. And I did get really excited and pre-order this game, and it's not very good. I feel like you can see the levels get grayer and grayer as it goes on, but I'm pretty sure after this is like the red forest or whatever. Like Emerald Forest? No, this is Emerald Forest. Okay, cool. Nice to know I'm wrong. Haha, I said it before you, comment section. I wouldn't recommend buying it unless what you saw in this video really looked good to you, which I doubt it did. It does like the surface level to be a decent game. Not the best game ever. The worst? No, not even close. It just isn't worth the money.